Hey guys, Mark Allen, BH Spring Solutions LLC and BHSpringSolutions.com, and we are back for another session of High Power University. It's July 2022, and we're updating about the Springfield SA-35, and this is really a fun session of High Power University because we've got some special shooting footage coming up here at the end of this session, but the relevant parts about this session are mainly the differences we've seen in the Springfield SA-35 from on or about serial number 7000. And we're going to just give a brief recap of or a review of what we are seeing different today, because we had a 11, 12, 13, 14 sessions of High Power University devoted to the SA-35 and a full evaluation, and this was very early in the model's introduction to the market, starting in November of 2021, and that is when we acquired our first SA-35, and our evaluation and analysis took place for about a month there in the second week of November to the second week of December 2021. And we identified, and all of that's available on YouTube or at BHSpringSolutions.com. And some of the things that we found in our evaluation handgun, we're not seeing in the Springfield SA-35s, say, post serial number 7000 plus. And it's been kind of a moving target, and we've had we're going on around 25 of the Springfield SA-35s that have been sent to our BH Custom Shop Service Department. And we have a great story about one of the very early ones that was sent to us in December of 2021 coming up. And that's just a very cool story that we want to share with you. And but anyway, from about 7000 serial number ish on, here's what we started to see that was different. We're sure that somebody decided to go ahead and run the deburring program on the CNC machine, wherever the SA-35 frames and slides are being produced. And this is one that's in the upper 6,000 range, getting close to the 7,000 range. And what we started seeing was some noticeable differences and some noticeable betterments. And one of those is, in fact, you can even see, even though this is not a great photograph as far as detail and resolution, we stopped seeing the sharpness here around the beaver tail. That is looks like it's been resolved. These slide serrations that once upon a time were extremely sharp, that has been resolved. This ejection port area and that whole area right around that edge, that's we found sharp enough to cut skin, that has also been resolved. And the cycling problems that these pistols had in the early parts of their introduction, because of no deburring of the sliding frame, that appears also to have been resolved. The last couple of SA-35s that have been post serial number 7000 plus, and we just had one in that was a 9000 something serial number. We did not need to recommend in our inspection process our deburring process, which of course requires a refinish, so that gets a little expensive. We did not need to recommend that. The pistols cycled fine, and it was not necessary to run through a deburring process at our shop in order to get the firearms to function. BH Spring Solutions optimized springs for high power pistols remain a betterment for this model. in all respects and in all applications of springs. It will make the firearm perform better. One area that remains a problem area for Springfield and for the SA-35 that we have been dealing with in the BH Custom Shop Service Department is this one right here, and that is the extractor. They have made some changes, and they've made some betterments. The areas of the extractor channel that we found, to have sharp edges encroaching into the channel back last November, that's been resolved to a point. We're still removing extractors, and we're still finding what I call slide serrations chatter, if you will, happening on the extractor. Now, the significance of that is this. This extractor has a spring, and it's right there. You can see kind of the edge of it in that area. And that means that this end of the extractor can be pressed down, and it has movement. And this end of the extractor can go up and down, and it pivots on that extractor pin. And there's the hole for the extractor pin, and it comes right down through the extractor, approximately in the middle of the extractor, and it has the ability to have some range of movement, and that is by design. But when we remove these extractors still today, we're seeing slide serration marks on the body of the extractor where the bluing has been worn away, and that is contact with the slide and the ends of these slide serrations that's still happening. And that's not best for reliable function of the extractor and reliable hold of the extractor. But that's not the only thing that's been going on with the extractor with Springfield. There are also some dimensional deviations going on with the depth of the extractor channel, which would move the extractor claw, which is what wraps in here in this area, and is what holds your cartridge casing when it's empty and extracts it, or helps to extract it, holds it as it's on its way to the ejector. But here's the curious thing. There have been steps made by Springfield to tighten the hold on the extractor on the cartridge casing. When this slide is all the way back in its rearward position, it comes forward, it strips around out of the magazine, and when it does, that rim of the quote rimless cartridge casing is already behind the extractor. And we have had fails, what novices would call fails to feed, which is really not a fail to feed. It's the extractor's failure to allow the cartridge casing to get the right angle of approach or angle of attack on the chamber of the barrel in order to successfully feed. And so they've been doing some things here, but it's still not what it needs to be in order to have reliable function, because we're having stoppages still with these out of the box, and we're replacing their extractors still. But different than when we first evaluated, one of the early production SA-35s, different than then, we're actually needing to replace the extractor and tune the replacement extractor to compensate for some deviations in depth of the extractor channel that is having an impact on how close of proximity the extractor claw has to the incoming or cartridge that's being introduced or attempting to be introduced into the chamber. We're still getting successful results. It's just a different set of things that is being necessary in order to get reliable and correct function. So that's really the best update for what we have seen different and changed. Definitely, all in all, looking at the whole big picture, Springfield has been taking some positive steps forward, and we encourage them to, continue, making the kind of improvements that they've been making. This extractor channel, extractor feeding, extracting, quotient is still plaguing the SA-35, but it is still resolvable, and we're resolving it now, continuing to do so in the BH Custom Shop Service Department. So anyway, we have a great story here. We have a wonderful friend of ours. His name, we've gotten permission to use his name. His name is Bill Barnett, and a great BH veteran. A BH veteran is someone who has done business with BH Spring Solutions before, or is otherwise a subscriber to our BH newsletter that comes by email, and that can be subscribed to at bhspringsolutions.com. And anyway, Bill is a longtime BH veteran, a wonderful friend of ours, and he is a competition shooter. And he has been, from what I've been told by John, our service consultant who has been serving Bill, he has been liquidating some of his non-high power pistols in favor of some high power pistols. And Bill happened to bump into Eric, another BH veteran, I guess, at a local shooting range where he lives. And Eric was one of the first BH veterans after we did our initial evaluation and analysis of the SA-35 back in November and early December of 2021. Eric sent us his SA-35, and we ran it through our whole program, and the deburring and the replacement of some parts, and refinish, and I think a BHAdvanced trigger subassembly, and some other, a lot of other BHAdvanced components went into that pistol. Well, these guys bump into each other, and they get to talking, and Bill accomplishes a trade of a really, really, really nice 1911 with Eric for his Springfield SA-35 high power that came through the BH Custom Shop Service Department back in December, January-ish of 21-22. And we thought that was a great story. And Bill has shared some of his competition footage with us before. And I have to tell you, I like Bill's style when I watch him compete. He's quite focused, very deliberate. But from what we have been told, he's also very accurate, and he's an aficionado, I guess you'd say, of accuracy. And he has, I guess, been in the process of liquidating some of his other non-high power pistols in favor of high powers, and we actually have two of Bill's in our service department as I am making this video, actually. And so anyway, Bill and Eric meet at this gun range, and Bill winds up with Eric's SA-35 in favor, and I'm not going to really tell you what he traded, but it was a really nice handgun, and a fair trade for both guys, I think. And anyway, so Bill trades a 1911 for Eric's Springfield SA-35 that's been through our shop, and he immediately takes this thing to a competition and puts it to the test. And of course, when I hear this, I'm going, oh my God, I hope we didn't miss anything on Eric's pistol, and I hope we had uncovered everything. And I start, doing this sort of mental inventory of did we uncover everything, back in December? Yeah, I think we did at that time, based on what that serial number range was demonstrating to us. And anyway, so Bill went shooting in a competition with his newly acquired SA-35 that 7 months ago went through the BH Custom Shop Service Department. And the report back to us was function was not only good, it was really good. And Bill managed to take first place in his division, and in the overall was in the top 5. And I guess there's 400 plus shooters in this shooting club and that participate in these competitions. And so, needless to say, we were very, very happy to hear about this, and it's also a very proud moment for us to be able to feature a spotlight on a shooter like Bill, who is competing with BH Spring Solutions optimized firearms, in the competitions where he's shooting, and that he has that confidence in us. It's a tremendous, tremendous compliment. So, Bill, thank you very much, and it's our pleasure to include some video footage that you provided to us of your shooting. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at that right now. Now, of course, as I'm watching this, I'm looking for the Extractor empty shell casings, and I want to see that everything is working okay and the consistency of the Extractor hold is remaining very good, and it is. Nice mag change there.
When you're ready, stand by.
Really liked the way he was able to control that during the quick follow-up shots.
Shooter ready? Yes, sir. Stand by.
And you see, you got the swinging, moving, turning targets going on with this one. What a fun drill to shoot. Now, we were told that the score on this one was really, really good, and that if the camera had not been turned off, that Bill got some applause after that one. So, folks, we appreciate you joining us, watching everything. This is Mark Allen, BH Spring Solutions LLC, and BHSpringSolutions.com. Thanks, folks.